I know I'm pretty late to jump on the WREXHAM bandwagon, but it's time for Sir BCHD to give a new spin on the Red Dragons. They've earned promotion in real life, so we've added them into League 2, replacing them with Rochdale as they begin their climb towards the Prem. I love some of the Deadpool movies, but what the hell does he know about football? Or in any case, running a football club. We'll be giving both Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney a bit of a helping hand when it comes to the signing and just football director type responsibilities, because I doubt the Green Lantern himself is doing the transfer negotiations. The Hollywood boys are just fans on the sidelines and get all the credit behind the scenes, as we're the more brains of the operation, if I do say so myself. The way we're going about this though is that we can only use players from our starting youth academy, and we're only allowed to make one Welsh homegrown signing per season. Thanks to this realism mod, we've been gifted with a hefty 16 players in our academy, including a homegrown talent. I know WREXHAM is based in Wales, but because we've put them in the English football leagues, the game has given us an English homegrown talent, so that's why I've incorporated that Welsh element. These lads are all waiting to be promoted. This batch is the future, our only hope for WREXHAM to reach the very top. 3 forwards, 9 midfielders, only 2 defenders and 2 goalkeepers. I don't really have any main ambitions for this season, it's just to build the foundations for the future and avoid the sack. We want to get things right as we usher in a new era in an attempt to eliminate the old guard. I know Paul Mullen and the gang are fan favourites, but it's time for a new dynasty. I want this club to transform into the next famous talent factory for the UK. Come on, it's what Bootlegger would want.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get f***ing tasty, baby.
Before we promote them, I want to let these lads cook in the academy, let these talents train, hone in their craft on their development plans. While Sir BCHD is completely dripped out, it looks like he's got a one-way ticket to the Met Gala. We're going to see him halfway through the season to January, then meet back up to promote the future stars of WREXHAM. January 31st, now it's time to promote our ballers. Starting from the bottom, we've got a Turkish talent, Metin Gada. The 17-year-old has grown a +5 throughout this 6-month period, also earning that 5-star skill move, so the 17-year-old will be very handy. He's the lowest rated player. We are starting from the bottom. We now enter the 40s here with Trevor Bishop, the Canadian, who's pretty much the same archetype, CDM/centre mid with 87 to 93 potential, and has already earned himself 5-star weak foot with 81 agility. Welcome to the first team, my man, as Idris Hassan is the first African on the roster. The Moroccan has grown a +3 upgrade and has 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, but low work rates, which is concerning. It's got the potential to be a workhorse CDM with 79 to 85 potential. If we get the right development plans on him, I can see that man bun being a menace in the future. Next up is the Slovakian right winger Dan Kadlec. The 40s gang is strong with this group, as the 17-year-old is 5'7", 5-star skill moves, no traits to boast about, can pretty much play anywhere on the right hand side in attack, and has 81 to 87 potential. We've had a Canadian, now it's time for the Americans to join the chat, as Nathan Clark could be a potential Captain America-esque player. At 16, he's a striker/centre forward with 5-star weak foot. He's an exciting prospect and has already grown a +6. These youth talents haven't failed to impress me so far, and same goes for Lucas Guzman, who currently holds the highest potential range so far, 88 to 94, the Chilean right wing back with 5-star weak foot, high work rates. At 5'5", he's the South American Energizer bunny. Get him straight to the first team. Joachim Graf is up next, the first German, who thanks to that development plan training has a 5-star weak foot. The left mid with 83 to 89 potential, 47 overall. And it's our second Chilean in this bunch. We've got a right back. Now we've got a left back, Alex Vidal. The 17-year-old is 47 rated with a 5-star weak foot, has 86 to 92 potential, and that's all that matters. We've had our fair share of CDMs in our academy pool, and the trend continues here with Leon Paris, and you guessed it, he's from France. Who would have known? At 6'1", he's a little bit of an enforcer type. We might have to train him into a box-to-box midfielder. Thoughts to ponder for the future, as he's one of the oldest players in this pool at 18. He'll be getting promoted alongside Patrick Young, the Northern Irish lad who has one of the lowest potential ranges out of the whole group. At 17, with his 5-star weak foot and high attacking work rate, the advanced playmaker with 76 to 82 potential, as Goodwin Amos is next up, and our first shot stopper we've covered. The Congolese man Mountain, standing at 6'5", has 88 to 94 potential, but not only that, he's got a few traits some tricks up his sleeve with the playmaker trait. Thank God, bicycle kick trait, because he's always going to be up in the box ready for a goal. Make it make sense, but you already know he's getting a one-way ticket into our first team, as Grigory Kozlov will be his understudy. Even though he's older than him, slightly better rated, he's going to be second fiddle. He only has a 76 to 82 potential. He's 6'5", and also has some traits in his locker with power, free kick, and playmaker again. It's just comical. Our overabundance of right wingers continues. We've been gifted with more. Silas Schultz, the Danish right mid, with 87 to 93 potential. High defensive work rate, which is kind of a red flag. Giving me the ick. 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot though. And he's one of the first outfield players to enter the 50s. We'll be promoting him alongside Isidoro Cruz, the Colombian who could potentially be converted into a playmaker, maybe out on the left. High attacking work rate, 78 to 84 potential at 5'7". We could have the hallmarks of the next James Rodriguez on the cards, as Faith Kaya is going to be the second Turkish player out of our academy. They've been filled up with 5-star skill moves, left-footed, at 17 years of age, is 55 overall, and currently has potential to be special with 86 to 92. Welcome to the Wrexham gang, son, as last but definitely not least is the homegrown talent. Yes, I know he's English. But finally, Jordan Gardner has been gifted by the gods with some useful traits. Someone that could actually use them, both power, free kick, and playmaker like our Russian goalkeeper. The 17-year-old Cam has one of the most accurate, nailed-on potential ranges, 93 to 94. The left footer with 5-star skill moves and already some dark green attributes to boast about. He's a physical marvel and could be a generational talent for Ryan Reynolds and co to capitalize on. And now that all of our youth talents have been promoted and the Wonder Kids have found a home, this is where the real process and fun begins. We're releasing all the real-life players at Wrexham and letting this academy takeover reign supreme. All the talents we called up are now going to start to be at the forefront. With the average age of about 17 and a half, this is where the new look Wrexham take over for the second half of the season, and there is no way they are getting playoff football. There is going to be a severe drop-off for the second half, as our roster size has now been reduced to 20. Considering we don't have a youth academy centre-back or a second striker, things might get a little messy. Season 1 is all but over, and from 7th down to 16th, the drop-off was crazy. There will be no double promotion celebration for Wrexham. It's another season in League 2. The results weren't really the forefront of our objectives this year. It was all about the youth players. We've got some progress, some updates to keep you in the loop about, some development plans and position conversions that have taken place. Metin Kara, the Turkish CDM, we're now converting into a centre-back. We're in desperate need of a defender, so anyone will do. And we've chosen the Slovakian Kadlec to be our second choice striker. We're converting him from a right winger to a mobile striker. We also had to keep 3 real-life players from Wrexham just so that we had enough players to fill the squad, and that includes Dan Davies, the 18-year-old Welsh centre-back, Max Cleworth, the 20-year-old English defender, and Jordan Davies, currently the oldest player at the club. He's Welsh, who gets a pass, and he's 24. Player performances and production aren't really the top priority at the moment. We're just head over heels right now about the team growth and development of these players. We're going to hook them up on brand new development plans, training regimes, and the like every single season as they continue on here, life in the 4th tier of English football. We've also opted for a brand new formation, a brand new system, a 4-4-1-1. We've survived season 1, we've made it out alive with our heads above water, and what that's going to allow us to do is exercise our financial freedom by signing a Welsh player and even potentially sending a scout out to Wales for more youth academy ballers. We might be stuck here in League 2 for a while, so get used to it, as our budget is just over £2 million. Nothing that's going to really buy you anything special, so we're going to have to go for a scout. We can't even buy proper scouts. We are that broke at the moment. Noah Bolton's going to have to do. Get him over to Wales, send him on a 9-month trip. We need some more homegrown talent to inherit, and I'm not really picky, just give me anything. Whilst our talent scout is off on a journey, continuing his search, we've got some good news, as Dan Davies is officially a centre-back, converted as he joins Carter in the backline. There's our youthful starting 11 ready to make a name for themselves in the 4th tier. Whether we're on board for promotion or not, yeah, I don't think so, but it's the thought that counts. We'll just hope that some Welsh generational talents will land at our doorstep, and we'll keep you updated along the way. EA have got to fix this, man. Like, it's been a prevalent issue in career mode for years now. Like, I'm sure people from Wales don't look like the same 5 people over and over again. These immersion breaking bugs are just save ruining sometimes. Do you lot think Ryan Reynolds and Robbo are out here in the trenches scouting Wonder Kids in Wales? Nope, they're on a random golf course in America begging Gareth Bale to come out of retirement and sign for Wrexham. Draft day has hit, and I think we're going to do a little mid-season report for as many years as we need. These are some of the best talents we've been able to recoup from the scouting. However, we're only going to promote a few out of necessity, just to fill up the squad, make the numbers. A handy little player we found here is Charlie Owen, yet another man bun to enter the team, can play on either side of the flanks at left back and right back. Our defense is seriously one of our main weaknesses. A handy centre half is definitely needed. Adam Cox is versatile, can also play at CDM, but he has 85 to 94 potential. Will be an awesome utility in the back line. And Kai King, why not? Promote the King to be a backup right back and also fill in at centre back once he's of age. Another area where we need a little bit more competition and some homegrown feel to it is the winger spots. So Lee Richards at left mid, going to provide the ultimate super sub, a little hidden gem in there with 83 to 94 potential. And two young guns, last but not least, it's going to be an emergency cam, Brian Lloyd, 5-star weak foot, 83 to 94 potential. The attacking midfielder will be an absolute weapon. And Adam Owen, you just can't ignore that potential range, 90 to 94. It'll be criminal of me not to promote him. And for the rest of the lads, unfortunately, they haven't made the cut. It's low-key a blessing in disguise that we've picked up Adam Owen, because the Dane Schultz has submitted a transfer request. He's not happy, and if we have one bad egg in the dressing room, that just ruins the vibe. So Silas, off you go. They've slipped down the ladder a little bit, but hey, it's the Youth Academy gang's first season altogether. In 18th spot, I guess technically they avoided relegation with 50 points, but we'll be aiming for higher up the table come season 3 and maybe even push for playoffs. Knocked out early in all the cups, round 1 in the FA Cup to Grimsby, a 3-0 spanking versus Colchester in round 1 of the Carabao, and in the Papa John's Trophy, we were finished. These are the crucial formative years though. What club legends are starting to emerge? Who have been our best performers and biggest growers? As we finalise the conversion of Jordan Gardner as a cam, and our French lad in the middle, Leon Paris, is now a fully fledged centre mid. Our top goal scorer comes from the American up top, Nathan Clarko, finding the back of the net 19 times. Faith Kaya on the left hand side, the Turk with 15 goals and 4, and Jonathan Gardner, who is literally a cheat code in these lower leagues, 76 overall, plus 8 double figures in both departments. This kid's the real deal. Meanwhile, Isidoro Cruz, the Colombian, on the right flank with 8 goals and 3, and our box-to-box baguette specialist with 10 goal contributions. Even Adam Owen, who graduated from the academy late this season with 4 goals in and off the bench. Man, inflation be hitting hard right now. I don't remember 5-star scouts costing upwards of 17 million. Albie Berry, mate, what makes you so special? It's come to that point where we've got to wait for the lads to gel together and for the system to form. Season 3's up next, where we'll be pushing for promotion. You don't get more nitty-gritty than the lower leagues of English football, and 3 mil in the bank, are you having a laugh? The only thing we can afford right now is promoting players from our already established youth academy and hiring 1-star scouts. Now, our first big play of season 3 is going to be calling up a player I've had my eyes on in the youth academy for a while now. That's right, that man in a headband, Dylan Pearce. He's just got Welsh powerhouse written all over him. Higher defensive work rate, 5-star weak foot, 5-star skill moves, a potential of 83 to 89 to provide a little bit more of a defensive dynamic feel to our middle of the park region. Now, we haven't had the budget to pull off any Welsh signings yet, but I found an academy talent. He could even be a regen on the free agency, Adam Cook. He can play at centre back and left back with a market value of 120k, only 17 years of age. For free, he's already better than our whole entire backline, so it was just a no-brainer. So Cook has come through, and hopefully he will be cooking up a partnership with Cox. As the free agent cutscene glitch is currently masking what's really going down behind the scenes, we've decided to loan out our second choice striker, the Slovakian hitman Dan Kadlec. He'll be joining UD Ibiza for 2 years. Hopefully he doesn't spend his entire time clubbing, partying, and doing God knows what else, and actually comes back a better player. This is how our first choice starting 11 is looking, and boy don't they look dangerous. Surely they're going to be up there this season. It's playoffs or bust for this youthful lot, so let's see exactly what they've got planned. A little diamond in the rough that have passed our scouts and entered our youth academy is actually a backup centre forward. We need an option after Cadillac's been loaned out to Ibiza, and the marksman who caught my eye was actually Harry Andrews. He's a centre forward / left wing, and I've never seen this before, but he has a potential of 95 to 94. How that even makes sense, what that even means, no one knows. Your guess is as good as mine, but one thing I do know is that he's getting promoted straight to the senior team. A perfect little pocket rocket super sub, and adds to this WREXHAM Academy roster size of 24. We are going up, say we are going up, baby. That is a 3rd place finish for the WREXHAM Academy boys, and with 84 points collected, it is 3rd in the automatic spots to go go up alongside Forest Green and Lincoln City, and the climb starts now. We are League One, baby. I don't care what we did in the rest of the competitions, as we were knocked out pretty early in the FA Cup, and in the Carabao it was a round 1 humiliation by Coventry, and in the Papa Johns we actually made it to the round 2 and lost out to Portsmouth 4-1. Nonetheless, this youthful concoction of ballers has spiraled Wrexham up into the 3rd tier of English football, and we're starting to see +6s, +3s, +5s all across the board, even a +9 for Nathan Clark. We've got 10s, even Cadleck out on loan in Ibiza. I don't think he's partying, lads. He is getting to work. He's on his grind. A +11. That is crazy to see. Joachim Graf going up a +7. Upgrades and green plus signs all over the board. In terms of production, our top goal scorer was Nathan Clark. The American's 20 goals and 5 assists were imperative for our promotion push and 3rd place finish. Meanwhile, Faith Kaya on the left-hand side, the Turkish attacking talent with 17 goals and 15, double figures in both departments, just like the homegrown talent Jordan Gardner. He's now at an 82, the first player to enter the 80s, and he's the best player on this roster by a country mile. But you can't fault the effort of the likes of Isidoro Cruz, the Colombian, with 16 goals and 5, and Idris Hassan really impressing me, the Moroccan, with a +10. Behind the scenes, there was a little bit of drama as we had to buy back Leon Paris after his release clause was activated by my boys Frosinone. Like, they were just trying to make this hard for me. Nevertheless, Alex Vidal at left back is now in the 60s. The free agent academy star Adam Cook has gone up a +3, and Adam Cox at the back with a massive +5. Goodwin Amos in between the 6 scored himself 9 clean sheets, and he is our Congolese #1, with the most expensive player of course being Jordan Gardner. But next up is Faith Kaya, who now has a price tag of 3.8 million, increased over 8,000 or 3,000%. Doesn't even fit on the screen. That's how much growth and progression and character development this squad has done. I did want to promote a few players out of the youth academy, like Tony Parry. The Welshman can be our 3rd choice goalkeeper, and of course he's got the playmaker and flair pass trait. Also, the highest overall player, Kai Wynn, who is a 94/94 potential, 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, 58 overall. And it's also a part to make up the numbers now with our squad size, with all academy players being 26. League One, here we come. We are bursting the doors down and looking to cause a ripple in this English footballing pyramid. Wrexham all the way. A whole new challenge has just emerged, not only in a footballing sense, but on the financial side of things, as we only have about £5 million to play with. Not exactly the biggest award chest, but it's what you'd expect down in the lower leagues. And just for funsies, I'm going to sign a new scout. We're getting the Russian on board, Gavril Nakimiov. Spending the big bucks on him at £3 million. You know what? I'm feeling exotic. I'm feeling fruity. I want to send this man out on a mission all the way through to the back doors of Venezuela. Have fun, mate. Here's how we're looking. Gearing up for Season 4 action in League One. Clark is still steering the ship up top. When Cadleck gets back, we might have to change up the formation and the system for a 2-striker plan. Nevertheless, we've still got plentiful options in and off the bench. The Red Dragons are up. Our Russian specialist scout is out on a mission in Venezuela, and life is just good right now. Playoffs would be a dream, so let's get to it. Our mid-season academy draft day has dawned upon us again, and you know what? This trip to South America was extremely productive. Our Russian agent securing the bag, and I've got a couple of players in my sights, like Pablo Garrido, the Venezuelan right back and left back. He can play on either side of the flank and will do wonders for our depth. I'm in the mood. You know what? I'm going to give Vicente Suarez a wild card option joining the team. I want to send him out on loan and see what he can do. Some minor January movements on deadline day, believe it or not. Some winter loan deals going out, like Trevor Bishop. He is moving out to Chindia in Romania on a 1-year loan deal, and Kai King will be joining Fleetwood Town for a year. I don't know if it's just me or whatever this FIFA update has done to the game, but I've seen this loan glitch happen time and time again, and I want some of that. We're seeing some unprecedented exponential growth with loans, so I'm going to keep it pushing with Vicente Suarez out to India. He's joining Odisha on a 2-year deal. Some of the biggest growers in our team are the ones out on loan, like +14 for Trevor Bishop. Kai King's cracked the code with a +13 at Fleetwood Town. Like, these loans are just out of control. Like, we also were happening to Cadleck last time out. Trust me, these are some minor moves, but they're going to be key for us in the long term. Could the old Wrexham do the double jump as they missed out on automatic promotion? They just slithered their way into the playoffs, landing in 6th. Meanwhile, Derby County and MK Dons move up to the championship. It was a solid campaign for these lads. They're hungry. They want success. It was a round 2 replay elimination in the FA Cup to Burton. We were knocked out quite early on. Same goes in the Carabao. And then when it all came down to it, the most important match of the season, we win out in a 5-goal thriller at Wembley in the League One playoff final. We took down Plymouth Argyle 2-1 in the semis and met with with Birmingham, and the Youth Academy boys gain back-to-back promotion. They're up. The championship is calling. Can you believe it? We're wrapping up season 4 with a happy ending, and we're just taking a look at the monumental growth, just how far these talents have come. We're seeing regular +9s, +10s, +11s even, double digits everywhere across the board. The Lone Boys doing us proud. They're killing it. +14. I am gobsmacked, to say the least, as Jordan Gardner, realistically, shouldn't even be with us, but it's his boyhood club. He wants to stand by the project. He scored himself 15 goals and 10 assists, double figures in both departments, and it's the only player to do so, as Clarko, the American, in up front with 14 goals and 6 assists. Harry Andrews, who's just had a breakout campaign in and off the bench with 12 goals and 7. Isidoro Cruz is now establishing himself as a real hot prospect, as Faith Kaya on the left-hand side is nearly at an 80 rating. Leon Paris is just a juggernaut in midfield, and the Frenchman has grown exponentially. 3 goals and 6 assists. One of the main leaders and protagonists in the team. It is monumental what we're seeing here. The rest of the world need to take a watch, as Goodwin Amos, even in between the sticks, he's getting himself an assist and 7 clean sheets. We've had multiple players reach the £10 million market value range, even smashing it, and Gardner's hit the 9-figure range. Look, the Premier League isn't exactly out of their reach, but it is a real possibility. We've entered the big leagues now, and it hasn't just been Gardner who's carried the team on his back. It's been a real team effort, and thanks to that promotion, we've been gifted with £16 million. This Welsh outfit isn't here to take part. These academy boys are here to take over. There's no major wins until draft day, but here are some of the key loan outs we have going on, which is actually a Wrexham OG involved. It's Dan Davies, who we converted into a centre-back. He'll be joining Sheffield on a year basis. And another lad out here getting some championship experience is Adam Owen. He's now off to West Brom for a 1-year deal. We're doing what, like our 5th iteration of Wrexham draft day, and we've got a couple of players to call up to the squad. We'll promote a couple out of this batch, and they're all South American. Andres Rodriguez, he's a centre-back that has 87 and 93 potential. Surprised he hasn't left our youth academy already. We just have some more defenders to promote. Alvaro Oliveira, high defensive work rate, 5-star weak foot, can play either left back or right back. It feels like we're doing a whole lot for Venezuelan football right now, as Lino Parra is another centre-back CDM left back option, quite versatile at 6'4", 5-star weak foot, high defensive work rate. We're still living off our Russian scouts pickings. The only reason why I'm promoting Gonzalez is because of his haircut. The absolute vigor and dedication it takes to maintain that, I'm sure if he applied the same to his footballing career, he'd have 99 potential. Would you look at that? The Red Dragons are flying high, playoff bound, just sneaking in to the top 6 by 1 point. In their debut season in the championship, they made it all the way, couldn't compete with the likes of Everton and Norwich claiming top spots, but it was a heartbreaking defeat, as I think the Premier League was a step too far, losing out in the promotion playoff semi-final, 6-2 on aggregate to Preston. They fumbled the bag in that regard, but it was Burnley to claim the final winnings, the last promotion spot, 4-0 at Wembley. It was still a stellar campaign in that regard, and we were still quiet overachievers, losing out in a round 3 replay of the FA Cup to Bournemouth, and a round 1 elimination to Swansea City on penalties, 4-3 in the Carabao. You know what, a double promotion might have been a leap and bound too far. Another season in the championship might do these youngsters a world of good. We've got a new captain with our Moroccan man, Bun Hassan. He led the lads out to playoff glory, as we take a look at our main performers this year, the main growers. And did we just reincarnate the next Gareth Bale? What is in the water over at West Brom? We sent out Adam Owen on a 1-year loan spell, and the guy's been juiced up, +19. I've never seen numbers like it. 9 goals and 7 assists in 18 appearances, and the 21-year-old Welshman will return back to us as one of the best players on the roster. This loan deal glitch is wild, and you can start to see it have effects on all the other loaned out players. Not to the extremes of Owen's growth, but hey, it's still something. I think West Brom have just injected him with some kind of super serum or something, because we've been gifted with a generational talent on our doorstep. This team is juiced up. It's cracked beyond belief. Like, even some of the rotational squad players in the background, their growth and development are still maintaining healthy levels. You know what? We might have just cracked the code. I think the Youth Academy is just slightly overpowered. Now, when it comes to our top production specialists, of course, Jordan Gardner, he's now cracked into the 92. He's considered one of the world's best, 23 goals, 15 assists, Ballon d'Or potential. Nathan Clark was up there, our American hitman, with 15 goals and 1. And Faith Kaya, the Turk, is slightly turning into an unsung hero, 15 goals and 12 assists from the left. Win actually broke out on the right-hand flank with 10 goals and 1 assist. Tadlek returned from his 2-year loan spell, and the Slovakian managed 7 goals in off the bench, and our captain with 12 goal contributions. Considering we couldn't buy tiny scouts, we used the majority of our finances this season to renew some contracts, get everyone on board with this Academy WREXHAM project. But we must stay focused. The Premier League, I can smell it, I can taste it. It is so close to being in our reach. And if we continue along this trajectory, we'll be a Premier League reaching for the stars in no time. Based on our current roster and the season we had, we're heavy promotion candidates. We're the favourites to go up, and we've been gifted with about £30 million in the bank. For the first time ever, that's actually enough cash to invest in a brand new scout, and this time a 4-star, 5-star. Frederick Phillips, welcome to the gang. Even though we've established the main core of our team and the foundations that are going to take us to the top, just for funsies, I want to send him out to, I don't know, South Africa, give him a cheeky 9-month scouting holiday, and see what he brings us back. Just our depth and the pure quality we have now at our disposal that we've accumulated over these years. I think our time might be now. WREXHAM might be hitting the big time, if you know what I mean. Now, Owen is a major in on that right-hand side, and even the board thinks so. Ryan Reynolds and co want us to win the league title. You best believe we are Premier League, say we are Premier League, and we have done so in devastating fashion. Winning the league, taking home the title at the second time of asking with 102 points, claiming top spot over Bournemouth, avoiding the playoffs. It's the English top flight, here we come. We actually made an impressively deep cup run over in the FA Cup, losing out in the semi-finals at Wembley to Man City 3-2. However, it was an early exit over in the Carabao Cup with a round 1 elimination to Barrow on penalties. I can't say our impromptu, luxurious trip to South Africa was really worth it, considering the type of talent our scout brought back. Nothing really worthwhile. However, this WREXHAM bunch though, they have proved the doubters wrong and are ready for the Prem. The biggest league in the world is calling their name, as Jordan Gardner is our best player by a country mile, alongside Adam Owen, who is now into the 90s. Seeing +6s, +3s, +2s, the improvements keep coming through. And Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern, would be impressed with how much green we are seeing on the page right now. In terms of performances and the production, it's the man who came back from his West Brom loan spell, juiced up on all kinds of substances. It's what Gareth Bale wishes he was. 30 goals and 4 assists in 48 appearances for Adam Owen, Nathan Clark up front with 25 goals, and Gardner perfectly balanced with 18 goals and 18 assists. The homegrown talent really led him by example, as Leon Paris continues to impress in midfield with 5 goals and 1 for the Frenchman. Kaya underperforming, unfortunately, but for the rest of them, a campaign that has matured them for a Premier League arrival. And it's our trusty Congolese shot stopper Amos with 15 clean sheets in 46 appearances. He's a miracle man, now with a market value of £200 million. These price tags keep going sky high through the roof. It's taken 6 years of grind, 6 years of dedication to reach the promised land, but the job ain't done. With our coherent, trusty roster of 33 Academy ballers, we ain't done yet, baby. We're reaching for the sky. Hollywood boy Ryan Reynolds, WREXHAM want their name in the headlines again, as 4 of our first team 11 are out on international duty. We start off this Premier League campaign with £113 million in the bank. Who knows, we could bring in a cheeky world-class Welsh signing with that amount of cash. Only time will tell. The board ain't worrying about a relegation scrap. They are just charging towards the top. They want us to finish in a top 4 spot and also win a trophy in the meantime. It's going to be a tough ask. Believe me, Hassan and the boys have got it in them. Look, it's lucky season 7, and it's the first time we've actually acted upon our Welsh signing only rule. We've gone out and spent the big bucks because, you know what, our youth academy scouting days are over. Now we've got full faith in them to go all the way in this rebuild. The one spot that was lacking though was right back, and it's the ex-Liverpool Academy player Nico Williams to join us for this campaign, returning to the Prem. It's only right. One of the brightest Welsh talents in football needs to be in one of the best Welsh teams in the UK. We splashed the big bucks on him, rescued him from League One as he arrives from Olympique Lyon for £39.5 million. We're still doing due diligence in this transfer window to get players out on loan that need game time elsewhere, like Patrick Young. He'll be joining Club Bruges. We have the Venezuelan Gonzalez, who'll be joining Istanbul Başakşehir for a 2-year loan deal, and Lee Richards joins fellow Premier League side Newcastle. And finally, the 4th loan deal out of the club will be Dylan Pearce, now joining Bournemouth on a 2-year basis. The one and only change is Nico Williams overtaking Guzman at right back. The ex-Wonder Kid now is in his prime at 27 years of age, one of the oldest members of the academy squad. It's like, come on guys, we've seen the effect of these loan deals in this career mode, and the proof is in the pudding. We're sending even more out on loan. Vicente Suarez is now joining Mallorca on a 1-year deal, and Dan Davies will be off to Celta Vigo on a 2-year loan deal. It's their first first season dancing with the big boys of the game, so bring it on. Ryan and Rob, get the Champions League theme song at the ready because that'll be blasting at the WREXHAM Stadium very, very soon as we come through runners-up in the Premier League. Bridesmaids to, of course, Manchester City only by 7 points, but we've secured a top 4 spot with ease. We live in a cursed timeline where Leicester and West Ham make up the top 5, and getting relegated is Watford, Aston Villa and Brighton. It's 76-point WREXHAM going through, as in the FA Cup it was a 3-2 elimination in round 3 to Sunderland. They couldn't replicate their majestic cup run last year. I'm pretty sure they were just eliminated out of all domestic competitions pretty early and just focused all in on the league. We managed the crazy and brought out their talent. We skip the Europa and Conference Leagues and go straight to the Champions League. And the lads understood the assignment this year, now with 3 90+ rated players in our roster. Goodwin Amos joins the 90 gang. Our top performers this year, of course, was Jordan Gardner. He's maxed out at a 95, 21 goals and 8 assists, 18 and 4 for Adam Owen and Nathan Clark, who just brings consistent goals. The Americans' 19 goal contributions were extremely valuable, as Faith Kaya got himself 8 goals and 4. Paddy had yet another stellar season in midfield, and Dylan Pearce actually got some game time, some Prem game time under his belt at Bournemouth. Our Moroccan captain Idris Hassan has been an absolute rock at CDM with 2 goals and 6 assists. We've built up our depth, we've grown the quality, and now our most valuable player is dropped down from the 200 mil range. All I see is dollar signs as we have 5 players in the 9 figures or over. We're going to be competing in multiple competitions, making Wrexham's club debut on the continental scene. Can these fictional ballers continue to live the dream, as we've been gifted with £192 million in the bank to go wild with? We've kept it pushing all the way to season 8, and we have one final player left in our youth academy, Kaya Smith. He's waited at the finish line for us to have some success, but he'll join along for the ride, as the South African teenager will be our 35th addition to the squad. When you see an opportunity arise like this, you've just got to seize the moment, and we're going after yet another Welsh signing. It's going to be our only one for the season, as it's Ethan Ampadu, the Welsh wonderkid who broke onto the scene a couple of years ago at Chelsea, now is a free agent here in 2030. And we're poaching his services here just to be a little backup at CDM, provide a bit of squad depth in the back line. He's also extremely versatile, which is a W. Can play at centre mid, centre back. It looks like he's got a giant tarantula stuck on his head, and that's what I love about him. It's the moment we've been waiting for. Wrexham AFC pulled out of the Champions League pot and have been drawn into Group G alongside Lyon, Ajax and Young Boys. So an extremely winnable group. The lads should have no problem dealing with it. We're going to go out with pretty much the exact same lineup from last season. We've got our brilliant first team. We've got a backup brigade. We've got our team sheets organised and ready. We are booked and busy here for season 8. Yeah, the Premier League, we did that. Wrexham are your brand new English champions. I don't even know if this has happened before, if a Welsh side has won the Premier League, but here we go. And our boy Gardner wins the player of the tournament, player of the season, as well as 3 of our players being the team of the season. Here's your in-depth look at the table, though. We actually did manage to clinch it on the final day with a win, 81 points over Chelsea and Spurs. Man City from champions to 4th, and we've got Nottingham Forest up in 6th. But you just got to give props to Ryan Reynolds and co from taking them from non-league football, the 5th tier, now up to becoming Premier League champions. But as for other competitions, I swear they've never really made it that far in any of the cups, as over in round 6 of the FA Cup they lose out to Nottingham Forest 1-0, and the Carabao saw some more disappointment as they turned their focus towards the league and lost out in round 3 to Liverpool on penalties. It was a Premier League debut last time out. Now it's the Champions League starting spell, and they actually managed to go undefeated in the groups, up top with 14 points. Absolutely obliterated Villarreal in the round of 16 with a 7-0 aggregate win, and then they bowed out valiantly against Chelsea in an all-UK matchup, 5-4 on aggregate, and lost it out in the home leg. It's just the biggest power move, really, being a Welsh team and winning the English League. Like, that is just a gargantuan effort, really. Their mentality monsters, they're really serving up some irredeemable behaviour, but it's Jordan Gardner again who lands at top of the tree. He's the Golden Boot winner with 29 goals and 13 assists, double digits in both departments, just like Lee Richards, who's actually out on loan at Newcastle still. He managed to get double figures for the Magpies, 38 goal contributions, as Nathan Clark, he's always up there. The American Clarko with 26 goals to his name, and Adam Owen, of course. How could we forget? 39 goal contributions for the evergreen winger, and Faith Kaya managed 14 goals and 7. Leon Paris in the middle of the park, controlling the play with 9 goals and 10. The captain just doing what he had to do, even even Ampadu got in amongst the act in his debut season. And where would we be without this guy, Goodwin Amos, with 12 clean sheets in 52 appearances. The trajectory of this club has just been second to none ever since their youth academy focus and pivot towards the graduates. It would be nice to take home a little bit of a domestic cup silverware success, but we're going straight in for the big boy. The Champions League is now the #1 aim after they take home the Prem, and the Welsh Wonder Kids at heart aren't done yet. Now, with a transfer budget of 276 million, we've got too much money to know what to do with. Thinking back on it, we could probably buy every single scout in the world if we really wanted to. Now that the youth scout days are over, we can just focus in on this team, who now have 4 players caught up to international duty for the 2030 World Cup. Look, he's probably not going to contribute that much to the squad and their efforts this season, but I thought, why not? He's been one of the most exciting Welsh Wonder Kids to have burst onto the scene in the last couple of years. It is the recently face-scanned Brennan Johnson who arrives in the doors. He'll be our one and only Welsh signing in this summer window. He arrives at the finish line just like Ampadu. He wasn't here through the struggles of League 1 and League 2. We activated his £63.2 million release clause from RC Lens. We want that. We need that. Another face-scanned Welsh Wonder Kid arrives here and becomes a Red Dragon. He can also play up front as well, so another backup striker. And again, we've been handed a pretty easy group, not gonna lie. Leverkusen, Real Sociedad, and Copenhagen. Here's the lineup. Here's our trusty chosen squadron for Season 9, as the 3 actual real-life players make the second squad. Isn't it funny how art imitates life sometimes, as Arsenal bottle the league title on the final day just like real life. They give it up to us, the Red Dragons, successful in backing up their Premier League title and defending the championship. They both ended up with 77 points. Hell, even Chelsea could have won it. One of the craziest title defenses you'll ever see. We also managed to pick up a cheeky bit of domestic silverware with an FA Community Shield win over Newcastle 1-0. As Nottingham Forest were victorious in the FA Cup final against Tottenham, we were actually eliminated to the eventual champions in round 5. And again, our fumbles in the cup competitions continue, as it was a 2-1 elimination to Derby County in the quarters of the Carabao. But the Champions League is what we're all invested in, and it was a top of the table finish again, this time with 15 points, losing our 1 game. It was us and Leverkusen progressing through to the next round. They saw out Rangers 4-2 in the round of 16, and over in the quarterfinals, it was a away day miracle. A 4-3 win against Athletic Bilbao to make them through to the semis, and where they dispatched of Borussia Dortmund away to get a 4-2 win and book their place into the Champions League final up against RB Leipzig. Thank God we don't have another Champions League final against PSG, because I feel like that's just what happens in every single one of these rebuilds. The fictional Paula's 98% sourced from our youth academy are on the cusp of leading Ryan Reynolds' Wrexham to the top of world football. We've had our day ones, our late recruitments, and our Welsh signings along the way, but here were our main performers for Season 9. That got us to this historic moment, as it's Nathan Clark, now our 90 rated striker. The American knows how to fire on all cylinders with 32 goals and 4 assists. Kaya was the man who stepped up with 30 goals and 12, and double figures for Adam Owen on the right hand side, 20 goals and 14 assists for the Welsh. The homegrown talent from day one, Jordan Gardner, really had a lackluster, disappointing season. Something was off. The vibes were off for a 97 rated player, as Leon Paris really came into his own with 8 goals and 9. Brennan Johnson in and off the bench with 4 goals and 1. Our Chilean wing-back pairing of Vidal and Guzman, crucial in our defense and attacking phases. And the captain, who could potentially lift the Holy Grail tonight, Idris Hassan, with a solid 1 goal and 3 assists. Now we have some players valued at some ludicrous prices. 6 players all with that 9-figure price tag, and 6 players in the 90s or higher. World-class excellence all across the board, and we couldn't have done it without one of the most overpowered, underused features in career mode, the Youth Academy. We left Sir BCHD cooking, rightfully so. After nearly a decade in charge at the helm at Wrexham, up against this Leipzig outfit, the likes of Nkunku, Okafor up front, Lema and Zaire Emery in the midfield, and the big old Gavardio-Ibanez centre-back partnership will be difficult to break down, but those are your 2 lineups on paper for this blockbuster event. Now, EA have just royally screwed us over and robbed us of this epic rebuild finale. I went to bed, came back, turned on FIFA, and I've tried to, reload this WREXHAM save, and this is what I get greeted with. WREXHAM Season 9 End appears to be damaged and cannot be used, and you can only delete the file or just cancel, and nothing happens. You can't access the save even if your life depended on it. I've seen this pop-up message happen once before, but it's only been for squad files. It's never actually been for career mode saves I've had, and even saves I've had before that. Whatever this FIFA update has done has just completely ruined not only the WREXHAM save, but every other save I have had preloaded before that. Look, even my old Brighton rebuild, if you saw that on the channel, yeah, that can't be accessed anymore. And I've tried with all my power fixing the WREXHAM save, trying to get it to work with some PC mods. When I try reload it, this is what we get greeted with. For the Champions League final, it has just spawned us to a broken version of career mode. You can't look at the standings, you can't look at your objectives. There is absolutely no news to report on. Like, what is going on? You press advance and there's just no games to be played. The timeline is completely empty. You can't check on your team. You've only got the central hub. Look at this. Hassan's trying to talk to us. We'll view him in the squad hub. He's a 2 overall. Like, what has happened to our team? This is how we're sending off the WREXHAM Youth Academy rebuild. Like, what? I've tried to process this. I was so keen on playing with these guys in game and seeing how they go as a team on the pitch, but it's just impossible now. I can't recover the files. The saves have been corrupted. They've completely ruined this video, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's the only way we can access the squad hub and our team management section and just take a look at this glitch state of the game. Just make it make sense. I've had no issues like this all year, and we have entered an extremely cursed timeline right now. Honestly, it's issues and game-breaking bugs like this that really make me reconsider why I even do FIFA career mode videos, because why do I have to put up with this and the game has just crashed on me? If you're just as devastated as me, make sure to drop the video a like down below. Unfortunately, that's how we're gonna have to send off the Welsh Red Dragons. RIP to the Youth Academy Kings. Put your Fs in the chat. We'll never get to see them play a game live in action, unfortunately. Subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you never miss out on any content that arrives on the channel, and so FIFA don't try to ruin any future video ideas. Let me know if there's any way I can fix this, or you guys have had this issue in the past. As always, I've been Sir BCHD, and I'll catch you guys in the very next video.